Hey guys, it's Sega Camp. Now I'm making this very special video for a very good friend of mine by the name of RZEEJOKERR1000. So yeah, before I actually begin though, I actually should mention I keep all my Yu-gi-Oh cards in here. I don't really use them though, but just in case I ever feel like I'm re-changing my deck for something else. Apparently though, I have like a whole bunch of cards in here, and if I ever did go into depth about every card, this is going to take me a whole bunch of hours. Some of these cards I may not even know that much as well. Even as well, there are some cards in the Yu-gi-Oh card game that I would look at and then be all like oh, how do you use this card? The descriptions don't even make any sense sometimes. It's okay though, I'm not going to show you all these cards. I'm only going to show you like a few cards before I begin. Now I mentioned before back in my Yu-Gi-Oh Game Boy Advance game, you can actually make the pieces of Exodia just by making all 5 pieces. Like you're going to need the head, and then the 2 arms, and the 2 legs to summon Exodia, the Forbidden One. Apparently though, but as well though, so once you finally have all 5 cards played, you automatically win the duel. But there's more than one way to actually win a duel. Another card I know of as well, I can't remember the card name off the top of my head. I think it's called the Final Countdown. It's a magic card, but after every turn that passes, well, basically after 40 turns, you finally automatically win the duel. I don't remember much of the card though because I only got it on the Game Boy Advance version, 7 Trials of Glory. So yeah. But as well, there's even another way to winning a duel, and I so happen to have a few of these right here. Yeah, these cards are actually known as the Destiny Board letter cards. They say Spirit Message N and Spirit Message A. Apparently though, it's like this though. In the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, if you actually have the Destiny Board, first off you're gonna need this Destiny Board, and it'll have a letter on here as well, just like one of these, except though it'll have the letter F. And then once you finally activate it on your opponent's turn, every time your opponent's turn comes to an end, another letter will get played. So then you'll have basically apparently though, I can't really explain it right now. My mind's just going blank every minute. I need to think first. How does the Destiny Board letters work? I'm having a really hard time right now. Well, it's best actually if I start to you with the game mat. Yeah, this thing right here is the game mat. As you see as well though, yeah, every duelissimo who starts off with a new Yu-Gi-Oh card game gets a game mat. It has the deck zone, the graveyard, and then these 5 slots that my hand are going over are the monster card zones, and then the 5 slots that are actually below, like right here where I move my hand now, are the magic and trap card zones. Now apparently though, the Destiny Board letter is actually a continuous trap card, and all the other Destiny Board letters are supposed to be continuous magic cards. So apparently if you're planning to play with the Destiny Board letters, you better make sure you don't have any other continuous magic cards in your deck. Only these ones. These are the only ones you're going to need if you want to play with the deck. Apparently though, once you finally have all the 5 letters played, you automatically win the duel. And they'll actually form a word by the word of final. So yeah, the letters will be F-I-N-A-L. Once you get all 5 letters played, you automatically win the duel. Now I forgot to mention these other 2 slots right over here on the side. These 2 right over here, oh, I got the thing upside down. These 2 spots over here are actually the field cards, magic card zone, and a fusion deck zone. Yeah, you can actually play a field magic card here, and then afterwards you don't have to. If it's a field spell card, you can play here, and you don't have to play it on play them down here with all the other magic cards. The other ones though down here are just for continuous equip and quick play. So yeah. But if it's a field spell card, you can play it on the field card zone, and then the other deck spot is supposed to be where your is a fusion deck zone where you put your fusions if you're playing with fusion monsters. It's like this though. I don't really have a fusion monster in my actual deck, but I could quickly try and find one for you guys. No, but only I can find one. Ah, here we go. This is what a fusion monster looks like. As you see, it has the attack and defense on the bottom, just like any other monster. And it's hard to see the description. Damn it. Well, if you could actually read that little small text at the bottom, it shows them. It'll actually show you the monsters you're gonna need to make the fusioning. And then the second most important card you're going to need is a polymerization card. A polymerization just looks like a picture with a swirl in it. It was a little different though in the anime. Like if you guys ever did see the Yu-gi-Oh anime, you would actually notice the polymerization card looked different. And the weirdest thing was I was able to catch one just like in the anime on the Yu-Gi-Oh 7 Trials of Glory game, but all the other polymerization cards I caught were just like the original, just having that little swirl picture. They finally got it right once they made Yu-Gi-Oh! They finally changed the picture to make it be just like what Yu-Gi-Oh! GX had. And as well though, yeah, I have one of the pieces of Exodia, the Forbidden one. Only one of the legs. I don't have the head or the other pieces. I know, sucks. Well, this in my video is already going way off subject as it is. God damn it! I even forgot to. There's still a lot of other rules for the Yu-Gi-Oh game, but for now, I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to be listening, don't want me to start being like an instruction manual. So let's just cut the bullshit and get right down to my actual deck. That's all you guys want to see. I'll just go right through. I'll just pick up every card and show it to you and give you a little description on how it works. Okay, Lord of Dragons. He's a really good monster. I guess it's fair to talk about this card. As long as he remains in play on the field, if you have a dragon type monster in play with you or any other dragon type monster, Lord of Dragons actually negates the effect of a spell card, trap card, or an effect monster that actually destroys a dragon type monster. Let me read this very quick. As long as this card remains visible on the field, all dragon type monsters cannot be targeted by spell cards, trap cards, or effective monsters that designate as a target. Yeah, so basically, as long as he remains in play, a dragon type monster cannot be destroyed by any effect whatsoever as long as Lord of Dragons remains on the field. Okay, Zor, Knight of Dark World. There's actually a few Dark World cards, but I so happen to have one that actually is... I can't show you the... I can't get the attack or defense clear enough to actually show you. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Well, this monster is pretty powerful. Monsters that have like 18 or attack points or higher and are a 4-star monster to summon like right away are pretty good to have them for a deck like this. Yeah, as well though, and here's a neat little thing though I'll teach you about effect monster cards and normal monster cards. Normal monster cards are yellow like this, but if things have a special effect like this, they'll actually be orange instead. So that's one thing that's a little different about effect monster cards and normal monster cards. Alright, Trojan Horse. This is a really good card to have if you're planning to make a 7 or 8 star tribute summon monster. It's like this, so 7 or 8 star monsters use two summonings, use 2 sacrifices, But as long as it's an Earth type monster with Trojan horse, you can tribute summon it. You can use this as a 7. You can actually use this to summon a 7 or 8 star monster that's a creature of Earth. Just because though the card says if you tribute summon an Earth monster, you can treat this one monster as a 2 tribute monster for the tribute summon. Even Kaiser Seahorse has the same ability, but instead though it's for a light attribute monster instead. And of course though, Trojan Horse cannot be completed with using Gaia the Fierce Knight. If anyone ever remembered the Yu-gi-Oh anime, someone should remember this when Yu-gi used this in the Duelist Kingdom episodes. It's even as well, this card is pretty cool with Cursive Dragon, because if you actually fuse Cursive Dragon with this monster, you can make a monster by the name of Gaia the Dragon Champion. And right away though, it's even more powerful to take out a Dark Magician. Alright, Dark Blade. Another normal monster. It's just a dark attribute monster, of course. Yeah, pretty powerful, pretty cool. Good card. Trap Hole. Okay, I gotta go talk about this. This is your card to have if your opponent is planning to summon something. Plan to tribute summon something absolutely strong, because the moment this card gets played, you could automatically destroy the monster that your opponent is planning to summon if it is a tribute summon. Or even better, if it's something powerful to take out any of your other monsters that you plan to use to sacrifice for something else as well. Who knows? Like, you might have 2 monsters on the field and then you want to go tribute summon, but then of course though your opponent summons something strong that'll destroy them both. You can just play Trap Hole, and then afterwards their monster will get destroyed. Change of Heart. Yeah, now this one is a really good card. This card as soon as you play this card, you can take control of opponent's monster and take control of it for a turn. There's even another magic card by the name of Brain Control, which Yu-gi used to use which Yu-gi also had later by the time the Battle City tournament series started. It's basically the same thing, but when I actually play the Yu-Gi-Oh, I actually have a Yu-Gi-Oh game for PC. Yu-Gi uses this card instead of Brain Control, which is kind of weird. Like, Brain Control and Change of Heart still have the same effect. Like, you could just take control of it for like 1 turn, and then afterwards it goes back to your side of the field. Unless, of course, you want to be a jackass and use it for a tribute summon. Yeah. Card Destruction. Another good card. As soon as this card gets played, both you and your opponent will have to discard both your hands and then start off with a clean new hand after that. Comes in handy as well if your opponent is planning to go summon something like right away when it's their turn again, because you can just play Card Destruction, boom! They'll have to discard the card to the graveyard, and then that'll screw up their strategy, like, right away. Oh, and this next card I really have to talk about. The Blue Eyes White Dragon. One of Kaiba's favorite cards if you're, again, the fans of the anime. Don't be surprised. I'm going to be comparing this a little too much to the anime. But yeah, this is one of Kaiba's favorite cards, and it's really powerful. Even as well if you're able to get 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons and polymerization, you can fuse them together and make this new fusion monster by the name of the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. It's really powerful. But then as well, I think once the Yu-Gi-Oh movie came out, Pyramid of Light, they made these 4 new special cards that you can only get with the game. Apparently, I got Pyramid of Light, but as well though, if you actually get, but one of the cards as well is by the name of Blue Eye Shining Dragon, and basically it has the same attack and defense like a Blue Eyes White Dragon, but it has a special ability that you have to sacrifice a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to summon it. That kind of sucks. But here's another thing that makes the Blue Eye Shining Dragon really cool. It gains 300 extra attack points for each Dragon type monster that's in the graveyard. So yeah, it could go. So yeah, with the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons and the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, that's an additional 1,200 attack points right off the bat. And even as well, the White Dragon Ritual. Now I think I should talk about ritual summoning for a minute, since this is a ritual spell card. Now apparently though, a ritual summoning is you're going to need a certain ritual monster and a ritual spell card like what I'm holding now. You see that really weird flame right there? That's actually the symbol of a ritual summoning. Now this ritual spell card is called White Dragon Ritual, and once you finally play it, you can summon a monster by the name of Paladin of White Dragon. Apparently Paladin is a 4-star monster, so... And as well though, when you make a ritual summoning, you're supposed to offer monsters to a certain number of stars. But like I said, Paladin is a 4-star creature, so you can only sacrifice monsters that add to 4-star. Even as well, you can even discard cards from your hand to make the ritual summoning complete as well. So, yeah. That's actually pretty cool. So if you have no monsters on your side of the field, you can actually just discard the cards from your hand instead. And as well, the Gemini Elf. Yep. This is a really good card to have. Gemini Elf has 1,900 attack points and 900 defense points. It's a good attack horde monster. Yeah, I have a bunch of attack horde monsters that right away that you can use them when you summon like right away. And as well, Paladin of White Dragon. Paladin of White Dragon is not that bad. It has 1,900 attack points as well. And notice it also has a special ability. I forgot to mention as well, this monster, if you summon it like right away, you can trade it in for a Blue Eyes White Dragon as well. That's how pretty cool Paladin of White Dragon is. Yeah, there's even other ways to summoning a Blue Eyes White Dragon as well. There's even a monster by the name of... But we'll get to them as we come along. Fairy of the Spring. This is a really good card to have if you're planning to use equipped spell cards. Because, now, in case you don't know what equipped spell cards are, equipped spell cards are just kind of like this, but instead they'll also have a cross symbol right on either side. I guess an after spell card. Yeah, basically though, an equipped spell card, it'll have a little cross, and then afterwards, once you play it, you can equip it to a certain monster, and then afterwards, the effect on the description of the card will depend on whatever it does. You can even use equipped spell cards on your opponent's monsters as well, which is pretty cool. Alright, Graceful Charity. Now notice this one says Magic Card, and the previous card says Spell Card. Anyone notice the difference yet? Yeah. Here's the thing though, back when the Yu-Gi-Oh card game first started, they called these things Magic Cards, but then I don't know, later Konami decided to go rechange the description to Spell Cards. I don't know why they done that. Oh well. Well, this is besides, this was one of my favorite cards to have as well, because once you play it, you can draw 3 new cards and then discard 2 cards from your hand. So it comes in handy if you want to go draw out some really good, cards, and then discard something that's actually useless in your hand. Okay, another Blue Eyes White Dragon. I don't think I have to go into further depth. The Blackluster Soldier. Again, another ritual monster. This time, though, you're going to need a magic card. You're going to need a ritual spell card by the name of the Blackluster Ritual. And then as well, though, after you finally play the Blackluster Ritual, you're going to need to offer monsters that add up to 8 stars, since that's what it is on the top of the card. And it's even powerful. It's even powerful like a Blue Eyes White Dragon. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. That's what a Blue Eyes White Dragon's attack and defense is as well. Grandora. Okay, now this is actually an effect monster, but But it's pretty cool to have, at least. As long as you use it the right way and don't go screwing it up. Now, Grandora, though, once Grandora gets summoned, though, you automatically gain 1,000 life points. But then if Grandora gets destroyed in battle, you lose 2,000 life points. And let's just say, though, and as well, though, life points are really an important thing in a duel. Because if you have... Because both you and your opponents start off with 8,000 life points each, and whoever gets their life point count down to 0 first loses a duel. So that's very important as well, not to go. Basically, as well, you could lose life points if you lose a monster that's in attack position by another monster that's more powerful, or as well though you can even lose life points if you get attacked directly, because as well if you have no monsters on your field, all your opponent's monsters could attack you directly, and the difference of their attack points comes out of your score. There's plenty of ways on how to lose life points. But right now, though, I can't really explain right now in this video. 7-colored fish. Yeah. Another powerful creature. This monster has 1,800 attack points and pretty easy to summon. Well, what am I saying, though? It's a 4-star monster. It's easy to summon right away. 1 to 4-star monsters. 1 to 4-star you can summon at all times. 5 to 6 stars, you're going to need to make 1 sacrifice, and 7 to 8 stars is 2 sacrifices. So, yeah. Red Eyes Black Chick. Right away, though, once you have this card, right away, you can actually special summon a Red Eyes Black Dragon. As long as you have a Red Eyes Black Dragon in your hand first before you play this card. Otherwise, it's just a useless card to have, since it has 800 attack and 500 defense. Yeah. Not a very good card to have. Monster Reborn. Yeah. This is a really good card to have, especially if you're planning on revive. Basically, though, this has to be everyone's favorite card, because the moment you play it, you can special summon a monster from the graveyard. Either from your graveyard or your opponent's. It's a good card to have. Ah, the Flute of Summoning Dragon. Now, in case you forgot the beginning of the video, Lord of Dragons. This card you're gonna need to use this card as long as you have Lord of Dragons on the field to activate this card. Because then once the Flute of Summoning Dragon is activated, you can summon 2 more Dragon-type monsters from your hand. So yeah, that's actually a cool card to use. It comes in handy as well if you're planning to summon 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, because Blue Eyes White Dragons take 2 sacrifices, and if you have both of them in your hand while having Lord of Dragons on play and the Flute of Summoning Dragons played, you can summon them right away. Blackluster Ritual. Again, this is the ritual spell card to summoning the Blackluster Soldier. I don't think I have to go into further detail on how to ritual summon it. Oh yeah! Summon Skull! Now this monster only needs 1 sacrifice, but once you have it played, it is powerful as shit. It's even powerful as a Dark Magician. Look at that! Yeah, Summon Skull really kicks ass when it comes to having this monster played in a duel. Oh, Goblin Attack Force, another good card. Since look at it, since it's a 4-star monster. It's a 4-star monster, but it has 2,300 attack points. Apparently, though, it has no defense points, and after it attacks, it automatically switches to defense mode, and it stays like that for the next turn as well, which kinda sucks. So, basically, right away, though, you can use it to just take out an opponent's monster, but then, after it switches to defense mode, it'll automatically get destroyed by something else. Premature Burial, the very first equipped spell card of the game. This one is actually kind of neat because once you have it played, you have to give up 800 life points, but then you can revive a monster from the graveyard and then equip it to this card, and then equip it to it as well. Ooh, Cemetery Bomb. Now this is a really good, now like I was mentioning before, now this is a really awesome card to have if your opponent really likes discarding a lot of stuff to the graveyard, because Cemetery Bomb subtracts 100, well actually subtract 100 of your opponent's life points times the number of cards in your opponent's graveyard. This can come in handy now if your opponent has a lot of cards in their graveyard and it has like enough just to go wipe out the rest of their life points, because then afterwards it'll just drop their score to 0. And even as well, you can even end the duel off in a draw. Now, in case you don't know how a duel ends in a draw, a duel can actually end in a draw if both opponents' life points drop to 0. So, let's just say, for an example, your opponent just has a monster. Let's just say you have no monsters on the field. Your opponent has a powerful monster, and it's going to go attack you directly, and you're about to lose. Once you play this card, if your opponent has like, let's just say their opponent has like 500 life points, and their opponent has like tons of cards in their graveyard, their score will drop to 0 as well. And then once their monster attacks you directly, your score will drop to 0, and then the duel ends up in a draw. So yeah, that's actually one little example. Ooh, Kaiser Seahorse. Now this is another good card to use if you're planning to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon, because a Blue Eyes White Dragon is a light attribute monster. So once you have this played, you can actually tribute summon it, you can sacrifice it right away to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Or as well, another light attribute monster that's a 7 or 8 star monster as well. Yeah, because it says here, if you tribute summon a light monster, you can treat this one monster as a 2 tribute monster for a tribute summon. It shares the same effect like Trojan Horse, but instead it's actually a light attribute instead of an earth attribute. Ooh, 1,000 Knives. Now this is a magic card you're gonna need. Now right away, this magic card can only be used as long as you have Dark Magician in play. But then once you finally play this, you can actually destroy. Let me read this first. You can activate this card when you have a face of Dark Magician on your side of the field. Destroy one monster on your opponent's side of the field. So yeah, it actually comes in handy because you have a Dark Magician played and you're encountering a monster that's even powerful than the Dark Magician. This magic card can wipe it out like right away, and then afterwards that'll take one less thing off your shoulders. And as well, my deck cannot be completed without the actual Dark Magician card itself. Of course, this is one of Yugi's rare cards in the Yu-gi-oh game. Of course. Blue Eyes White Dragon again. This time though a different photo instead of the actual card. Yeah, there are different photos of these monsters. Even the Dark Magician is not the same like you would see in the anime. Like the Dark Magician that Yugi had in the anime had a different picture altogether. Like, even as well though, this is what the Blue Eyes White Dragon card looks like in the anime. So this is actually not the actual one you would actually see in the anime. Okay, and a Red Eyes Black Dragon. Yeah, of course. 2 monsters to sacrifice, but of course though, since I have a Red Eyes Black Chick, I could just summon it like right away. But of course though, I have to have both the Red Eyes Black Dragon and the Red Eyes Black Chick to summon it. Another Lord of Dragons, of course. I don't think I have to go into the description again. Ooh, Archfiend Soldier. Another powerful monster that can be summoned right away. And with 1900 attack points, it is well worth the. It is well worth it. Ooh, Skilled Dark Magician. Now this card is actually pretty cool to use in a duel because once you have it summoned like right away though, every time you or your opponent plays a magic card, your Skilled Dark Magician will gain a spell counter, and after it gains 3 spell counters, you can sacrifice it to summon a Dark Magician from your hand or your deck, or even better, your graveyard. Yeah, it's a really good card to use. Swords of Revealing Light. Anyone should remember this from the Yu-gi-Oh series. Once you play it, once it gets played, it stays on the field for 3 turns, and as long as it remains in play, your opponent cannot make your opponent's monsters attack you at all. So it comes in handy as well if you really want to defend yourself against. So it comes in handy if your opponent has a really powerful creature and you really want to go get someone else powerful to take it down. And of course, Witch of the Black Forest. Now this is like the very first week of a 4-star monster I have. But this card is good to have because of one thing. Once it gets destroyed in battle, you can. Once it gets destroyed on the field, and once it goes right from the field to the graveyard, you can transfer a monster that has 1500 attack points or less from your deck to your hand, like a Summoned Skull, Gemini Elf, anything that has less than 1500 defense points. Even Archfiend Soldier has enough defense points. What else? Goblin Attack Force. Anything that has less than 1500 defense points you could summon. Ooh, Kaiba Man. Now, just like Red Eyes Black Chick, though, once you have this monster played, you could trade it in for a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So yeah, this is another good card to have. It's even weird that it's called Kaiba Man because the main character. Because even as well as Seto Kaiba uses him. Well, he doesn't really use the card, but he has the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I don't know why he doesn't even use Kaiba Man. Karibo. Ooh, that cute little puffball that Yu-gi always uses in a duel. Apparently, this is not the original picture of Karibo because, well, I don't know why. But even weirder though, this card is really good to have because if you have it in your hand and then you finally take a big chunk of life points, you can discard it from your hand, and then afterwards the damage dealt to you will get dropped to 0. That's a really good card to use. Even Yugi used it when Kaiba was about to destroy Slifer the Sky Dragon. And then he just discarded it, and then afterwards, all the damage that he was about to take dropped it right to 0. Although his Slifer the Sky Dragon still remained in play as well, which is kind of weird. Usually it should have got destroyed after that, but it was still in play. Sonic Bird. Now this is a really good card to use if you're planning to go use ritual monsters as well, because the moment this monster gets summoned, you could transfer a ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. So it comes in handy if you already have a ritual monster in your hand, but you don't have the actual ritual spell card to ritual summon it yet. 7 Tools of the Bandit. Now right away though, this is a counter spell card. I mean a counter trap card. But once you play it though, you can negate the effect of an opponent's trap card that gets activated as well. But the only minor setback though is it costs you 1,000 life points to activate it as well. There's even a Magic Jammer, which is kind of similar, but instead though it negates the effect of a magic card, and instead of just instead of just giving up 1,000 life points, you just have to discard a certain card from your hand to use its effect. Alright, Sword of Deep Sea, the second equipped spell card in my deck. Now this is a really good card to have for your Yu-gi-Oh Duelist as well. You know why? One option only. Every time it gets destroyed, it goes back on the top of your deck. So every time you play it and then it gets negated, this card goes back up. This card can go right back on the top of your deck, and then you can reuse it as numerous times as you want. Ooh, okay, this is a really good monster. Hyozan. As well, though, you can use Kaiser Seahorse to summon this monster, but even better, though, it has more defense points than it does of attack. It has 2,100 attack points, but 2,800 defense points. It's a good monster if you want to go make a defensive wall on your side of the field. Alright, last will. Now, this magic card is kind of interesting. It says here, you can use this card effect once and only during this turn. When a monster in your side of the field is sent to your graveyard, you can special summon one monster with an attack of 1,500 points or less from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So it sort of has the effect of Sangan. Sangan's ability is kind of similar to Witch of the Black Forest, though, but instead of just being 1,500 defense points for Witch of the Black Forest, it's 1,500 defense points or less. And last will, though, is kind of similar, but instead of just bringing it, transferring it to your hand, it gets summoned right to the field. Alright, the Gross Ghost of Fled Dreams. Right away, though, it's a powerful defensive creature instead of just attack, because it has 1,800 defense points and 1,300 attack points. So it's actually best if you play it face down. Yeah, that's the way that you summon a monster today. You can summon it in face up attack position or face down defense position. Pot of Greed. Oh yeah. When this card gets played, you can draw 2 more cards from your deck, and then afterwards, well, that's about it, actually. You can just, once you play, it just allows you to draw 2 more cards from your deck. And lastly, another Fluta Summoning Dragons. And that's about it. That's my whole deck right here. If I had to go ask for recommendations, I would really like to get a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon Fusion card, since I have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. But as well, though, what else would really be good cards to have? Egyptian God cards, exactly the Egyptian God cards. Except, though, probably if I ever do get the Egyptian God cards, I'll have to start getting card sleeves for my cards next. Just because the only problem with the Egyptian God cards is they don't have the same color-coded background like all the Yu-gi-Oh cards do. The Egyptian God cards are different. For Obelisk the Tormentor, the background will actually be blue, and Slifer the Sky Dragon will actually be red, and the Winged Dragon Aurora will be yellow. So red will actually make it seem a little darker to the brown background, and yellow will just make it to have a brighter tone than this brown background. So yeah. But yeah, that does kind of suck. The Egyptian God cards are pretty rare to find today. And like I said, they actually use a different background, though. They don't like... which actually kind of fantasized me a little bit back when I first played it, because even as well in the Yu-Gi-Oh series, the cards were not color coded. They didn't have that color coding background on the actual anime. Like, they still use the same brown background like they do on the anime. Well, except though this thing doesn't have a swirl like you see in the actual anime. Instead, it's just a whole brown background with a black dot in the center. That's what the Yu-Gi-Oh cards look like on the anime. So yeah, that is kind of weird. Well, I think I wasted almost 40 minutes of your time, so for now, I'll wrap it up here for now. So, until I make another video, I'll see you guys later.